Well, some of that was slightly wrong. The dates were a bit off on when the events were, but that's because I just loaded up YouTube clips from previously sections from this drama show on Phonic FM, or bits I've recorded from Kendal Castle. I think in terms of a play, I haven't got as far as characters in any detail or dialogue, but the location or the setting is pretty clear. I think I've got as far as that. So Durham was the where the actual lecture was from Peter Horrocks, but Kendal, which isn't far away in the great scheme of things, it's excellent ruins. You get a sense of where a fortress or a castle once was, but there's clearly something has happened, and the main function of the place has gone away somewhere. But there's seats just outside it, so there was a siege at some point. That's where people were talking outside, but inside there's the basis of a stage, and there's also a tower where I think the Vice Chancellor is working, with maybe a research department lower down inside of it. So that's still the case, and anybody can go there and imagine it for a science fiction work based sometime in the future, but still thinking about the Fortress University as Peter Horrocks described it. So the bet, let's say we're thinking about bet 2026. It's still going to be in January, but it'll be early next year is what we might be looking forward to. And the event, the conference in Exeter, was the Digital Universities Conference, which is part of Times Higher Education series. And this is where it starts getting over into current news, but all these bits of news can be worked into future documental theatre or musicals. And also, since I've been sort of mixing up this drama show with reality shows, the We Don't Know show and the Wild show, which are based on fact to a certain extent. Well, mostly they're intended as factual shows, but you realise that storytelling as a method is part of how news is reported or presented. So, for example, digital university conferences and online, there obviously is a connection between being digital and being online, but I think so far those digital university conferences have concentrated on what can be done on a campus. So the actual campus model is not assumed to change very much. You can still apply digital technology within that, and it works just on that one site or another site very similar. The online aspect was launched in Exeter and revised at Lancaster, which there was a conference I went to. I went to the Lancaster one this year. The Exeter one was at the same time as Learning Technologies, which is another event at BET. There's at Excel. There's BET for schools and now higher education and further education. Learning Technologies is for vocational. It's alongside an human resource event, but I'm I'm getting so overloaded here. What I'm trying to say is that the online came up through online learning. I think it was rankings. So the idea was to have a similar table to the one they have for universities in general, saying this is the best one for being online, and these are the several other ones. But they eventually gave that up and went for ratings rather than rankings, and that's really what the relaunch in Lancaster was about. But for whatever reason, there didn't seem to be the kind of interest in the online rankings or ratings that they would expect, or which they get for their other projects. And so I think that might be why they have discontinued it, but it's possibly merged into something else. So one of the things they've done is to launch the sustainability impact ratings, and I've tweeted a link to a web page explaining this. It was launched in July, and there's another conference coming up, which is in October. Universities as Agents of Progress, which is based on it will include their main rankings of universities, within which apparently there's quite a few developments. India has done very well. They haven't revealed the exact placings, but there's been an indication that's the case. And I would say India is more interested than most in online. So they've got their own MOOC platform similar to FutureLearn, and they've recognised online as part of degrees as government policy for quite a while now. And I think the online aspect will come back somehow. Exactly what table or metrics will reflect that, I don't know, but it will return in some way. And the other thing to mention is that in Exeter they've just announced an arrangement with Amazon Web Services, so that Exeter will be supporting a lot of technology innovation, including AI, and working with AWS on their offers, of which there's a lot. I've also tweeted WENOTNO, or you can find it directly. Pearson did a press release not long ago on AI connections, working with Amazon Web Services, and there's lots of other people connected with that also. So the online bit will come, I think will return. Obviously Amazon and the cloud aspects, all of that fits in with that, so that story will come back at some point. And there will also be stories about the Digital University Conference and social impact and all the other aspects of the World Academic Summit.